Suppose you were told that you would be spending the rest of your life in jail. I can imagine that it is difficult to deal with. To what extent, though, do the penalties fit the crime? Here are 6 prisoners' bizarre responses to hearing that they will spend the rest of their lives behind bars. Eileen Wernos. Eileen Wernos was a serial killer who received the death penalty after murdering 6 people. Eileen Wernos was a serial killer from the United States. In 1989 and 1990, while indulging in street prostitution on Florida highways, Eileen shot and robbed 7 of her male clients. She said that the males had raped or attempted to rape her and that all of the killings were in self-defense.
Yeah, and that's a hell of a lot of men I went through before the next jerk came along, and I used protection, like a condom.
So it was
AIDS.
It was self-defense.
Yeah.
Eileen received the death penalty for 6 of the crimes. Eileen Wernos has since passed away. Eileen was killed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002, following 12 years on Florida's death row. In 1992, she was convicted of one of the killings and sentenced to death.
I have made peace with my Lord, and I have asked forgiveness. I am sorry that my acts of self-defense ended up in court like this, but I take full responsibility for my actions. It was them or me.
She pleaded guilty to 3 more killings and then later acknowledged killing for profit rather than self-defense. As a result, she was executed via lethal injection. She skipped her last meal in favor of coffee. Eileen's last words were, "Yes, I would like to just say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back, like Independence Day, with Jesus. June 6th, like the movie. Big mothership and all, I'll be back. I'll be back." Paris Bennett. Siblings are known to have close relationships. Unfortunately, some of these strong ties result in tragic stories, such as murder. Most sibling murder stories involve normal youngsters who snap and murder their siblings. Others, like Paris Bennett, are the result of careful preparation. He was a psychopath, murderer, and genius. Paris was born on October 10, 1993 in Abilene, Texas, in the United States. As of 2022, he is now 28 years old. He is well known for murdering his younger sister when he was 13 years old. Despite being diagnosed with psychopathy, Paris had maintained he had never experienced any mental illness. He stated this in 2017 during an appearance on The Family I Had, saying, "I chose to do my crime and take full responsibility for my crime, and I wouldn't say there was a predisposition to what happened. I'm not insane and don't suffer from any mental illness." Charity Lee received a call while working at Buffalo Wild Wings on February 5, 2007 at 12:30 a.m., notifying her that her younger child had been injured. Charity had entrusted Paris and Ella to a babysitter. Paris deceived the babysitter into leaving, giving him the opportunity to harm his sister. Paris attacked Ella, who was in her bedroom, after the babysitter had left. He suffocated her, sexually assaulted her, and then stabbed her 17 times. After all of this, he spent 6 minutes talking to a buddy before phoning the police to report the incident. They arrived quickly and nabbed the adolescent. He claimed he was having hallucinations and saw a demonic image of his younger sister. However, the next day he revealed that the murder was planned.
I did think that by killing Ella, I could have my mother back all to myself.
Where'd you stab her?
Lots of places.
He confessed to killing his younger sister in order to bring his mother anguish and misery. The action was not an impulsive wrath outburst, but rather a purposeful and planned conduct to punish his mother because he knew he would go to prison for killing his sister. As a result, he was certain that losing both children would be a good punishment in one go for his mother, but it's unclear why he was punishing her. Jaleel Smith Riley. A Hamilton County court sentenced a man to life in prison after dismissing his request to withdraw his guilty plea in a 3-year-old murder case. Jaleel Smith Riley, age 23, pled guilty to an aggravated murder and attempted murder on August 11th, but later rescinded his plea against the recommendation of his attorneys. Smith Riley's change of heart was rejected by Hamilton County Common Pleas Judge Charles Kubicki, who sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of release. Smith Riley dropped on the floor of Kubicki's courtroom after receiving his punishment. Smith Riley was coaxed to his feet by police, and then he interrupted Kubicki. "So what does he get?" said Smith Riley, who was previously sentenced to 11 years in jail on a related attempted murder charge. It is unclear who Smith Riley was referring to in his rant. Smith Riley's counsel told the court that an appeal was expected but had not yet been lodged.
He wants to come home, but we want Portia back. We can't get Portia back. That's not an option for us.
Officials say that Smith Riley was one of 3 males involved in an armed robbery in Norwood on the night of November 16, 2013. Portia Brooks and Aaron Martin were inside a parked car when Smith Riley arrived and pounded on the window with a revolver, according to court filings. Smith Riley, according to court filings, pulled Martin out of the passenger seat, searched his pockets, and then shot him in the head. Martin recovered from his injuries. According to court filings, Smith Riley transferred the gun to Fossey sometime after shooting Brooks and Martin. He had not been charged in connection with the event. Diana Lovejoy. A lady fainted in a California courtroom after learning she had been found guilty in a bungled murder-for-hire plan targeting her husband, who was shot but survived. Diana Lovejoy and her guns instructor, Weldon McDavid Jr., were convicted separately of conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder, according to the San Diego Union Tribune. When Lovejoy passed out and fell, there were gasps, and her family members wailed and begged for help. The courtroom was emptied by Judge Sim von Kalinowski so that the 45-year-old may obtain medical attention. Lovejoy appeared to be struck by shock, according to a TV reporter who responded to her before paramedics took her out on a gurney. When the trial continued, the same jury returned guilty verdicts against McDavid. As his family looked on, the 50-year-old buried his face in his hands and wailed. Brian Stone. The family of a guy who led police on a perilous car chase that lasted more than 60 miles and badly injured a state trooper says he is a kind person who regrets his actions. However, chats recorded during Ryan Stone's sentence hearing revealed a guy who boasted about generating international headlines and dismissed the victims in his case. Stone, age 30, received a sentence of 160 years in jail. According to prosecutors, he will most likely be eligible for parole after 75 years. In April, a Douglas County jury found Stone guilty of 18 crimes, including attempted manslaughter, first-degree assault, and child abuse. Stone reached speeds of 100 miles per hour while racing over shoulders and rushed toward oncoming traffic during the March 2014 pursuit. "You held this community hostage for 90 minutes that day," Douglas County District Judge Paul King told Stone before sentencing him. The chase began in Longmont, where Stone stole an SUV from a gas station as a 4-year-old boy was strapped into a car seat. Before the chase was over, he carjacked 2 more vehicles. Officer Bella Menhee was badly injured when Stone collided with the trooper while speeding at around 90 miles per hour. He had launched a device to deflate the tires of Stone's vehicle shortly before he was hit by the car. His leg was broken in 20 places. Prosecutors claim that if he had been hit in any other way, he would have died.
I pray you leave me time to start a family of my own with my beautiful wife.
Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari. Tatiana Fusari and her ex-husband Seth Welch were both found guilty of child abuse and murder charges in the death of their 10-month-old daughter, Mary. Tatiana Fusari was convicted of the murder of her daughter. On accusations of murder and child abuse, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of release in front of Kent County Judge Paul J. Denenfeld. Fusari's husband, Seth Welch, was convicted of murder and first-degree child abuse in the death of their daughter in January 2020. Fusari previously testified in court that her husband abused and tortured her, leaving her unable to care for young Mary. Judge Paul Denenfeld, who presided over Fusari's case, said quickly before sentencing her, "This is a horrible case from where I'm sitting. I'm not sure I'll ever understand what these parents were doing or thinking as they actually watched their child choke to death."
Where they're alleging you knowingly or intentionally caused serious physical harm to a child, they're talking about this Mary Welch. It is a felony, possible penalty of up to life imprisonment, or any term of years less than life.
Hey, make sure you haven't missed anything throughout this video, and if you want to watch more like this, then please do check out these videos as well. Subscribe to our channel for regular updates, and we'll see you in the next one.